And welcome back to the Crypto Talk Show. Today we're going to start with what I see as the beginning of crypto tokenization. This company is amazing. $38 billion crypto in management. It makes BlackRock look like a child. BlackRock's the biggest financial investment company in the world. They have an investment fund called BUIDL worth about $2.5 billion. This company, Securitized, is the master of all the funds. They got $38 billion, like 19 times BlackRock. Oh, man. And their Ripple partner, of course. BlackRock, utilizing Ripple technology, of course. I don't know when all this stuff takes off. I'm just here waiting. I'm not going anywhere. A lot of people are like, oh, man, then get out. Just get out. Like, what the fuck are you going to do? You have no idea. The whole world is being set up for cryptocurrency. Who am I to tell these people what to do or whatever, however long it takes? That's just my mentality. However long it fucking takes. If it takes 5 more years, and I guess it takes 5 more years, I mean, what am I going to do about it, right? I've already told you already, just do your job, live your life, and when it happens, it happens. That's really about it. I mean, there's no magical answer. I mean, keep up on stuff, keep up on the crypto news, but, you know, to know if you have to, like, I just recently, about 4 months ago, got like Caleb and Brown institutional custody. Rather than just having a hardware wallet, now I have custody that the banks have. We just had Caleb Brown on the show yesterday evening here, about 12 hours ago, 13 hours ago, and they answered all the questions. That's why I don't answer questions about Caleb Brown. Just, you can call him up and you can watch him on the show. I don't speak for them. You can go call them up. And yes, so let me look at, we're going to get into that article, the first thing. 38 billion. BlackRock's crypto fund, listen to this. Here's how fast crypto is growing. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not growing fast enough for you. Too bad. You can call 1-800-GO-FUCK-YOURSELF and go complain there. BlackRock's fund, the BUIDL, B-U-I-D-L, it started with like, I think, 80 million at the beginning of the year, 80 million. And now at the beginning of last year, 2024, and like right now, a year and a half into it, they're in like 2.5 billion. That's like a 20 to 30x. Do you realize that? Yeah, like 20 or 30x. 80 million to 2.5 billion. I was like, damn, man. Now that's a massive growth in 1 year. But again, this has just started. Securitize, which we're going to go over this article here. Securitize is managing 38 billion. And guess what? Crypto hasn't even taken off. I mean, this shit might end up being 100 trillion. I mean, I have no idea how big this is going to get. That's why I'm just waiting. And I will just have to continue to wait. I have no other option. I'm just going to wait. Whenever this shit takes off, it takes off. It's going to not be when you expect it. It's going to be a total surprise. That's how all this shit is. You notice? There's always these scare stories to get people out and this and that. And then boom, it takes off like a rocket. Shit, how did I miss it? You know what? I missed out on Bitcoin. I wasn't following finances. I didn't know what shit. I used to order sometimes twice. I think I ordered some shit utilizing Bitcoin to pay. I ordered some stuff from China, and they wanted Bitcoin. They were WhatsApping me. I know it's probably nefarious or whatever. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. So they wanted me to use WhatsApp and then Bitcoin and shit. And I'm like, why the fuck? This is so weird. These Chinese people, why don't they just fucking use Visa or MasterCard like normal fucking people? So, yeah, I was using it. And then about 6 months ago, I was going through old emails and I'm like, oh shit, there's my transaction with that Chinese company. I wonder if I have a wallet with any Bitcoin left. Oh shit, I went through the different emails, was searching through all of them and look at the payment stuff and didn't find anything. And I'm like, fuck, if I just had just one Bitcoin, like a half of a Bitcoin left over from a transaction, like fuck me. So yeah, I missed out on Bitcoin, but guess what? I'm not missing out on this. Oh no. I don't care if XRP goes to a nickel tomorrow and all this shit goes to 0.0004. I don't care. I'm still buying it up. I'm not giving up on this. Just like I've worked out 6 days a week since June of 1985. June of 1985, I just had graduated my freshman year in high school. Miami Vice, I think, was right at the tail end. I can't remember, or the reruns were still going. There's a lot of, those are some days back then. But 1985, I was 15, and I started working out 6 days a week. Here I am 40 years later, at 55 years old, still going 6 days a week. I just keep going. If I find value in something and I can see verified results, or I know certain things are evidence, then I just keep going. And whenever that day comes, that day comes when this crypto takes off. That's just how I am. I'm not missing out on this like I missed out on Bitcoin. I missed out on Ethereum. I'm not trying to buy a Bitcoin at $80,000 or $100,000. I'm trying to buy it at 20 cents. These cryptos we got now, right now we have an opportunity. You guys got institutional custody with Fireblocks and Caleb and Brown. It's a very good time to get your crypto right now. First 5 people: Nitro Driven, Mr. OG, Thomas Cox, MAB 1914, and TK. We've got Hollow Hawaiian is a brand new member here. And let me go through here real quick. All right, let's go to the article. We got to check this article here. I'm telling you what, man. We're gonna go through the whole article because this is massive. I want you to see what's going on. Like, hey, I wish we were rich tomorrow. That would be nice. But we are gonna have to wait. Look, I show you evidence every day. They can manipulate these prices. They can and are. And the same way they manipulate everything else. But guess what? I'm not leaving. I'm not going. But Cryptoholic to be waiting 5 years. Yeah, it sucks, huh? I guess I have to wait another 5 years. I don't know. I'm not going. I'll be waiting. I'll be reading off this crypto news shit till I'm 60. I hope it's not. No, I'm just kidding. It won't be 5 years. There's no fucking way. China is already in the midst of a collapse, a financial collapse. And the rest of these countries of the world, it's coming. All this stuff. Securitize acquires a company called, now what is Securitize? I did some research on Securitize, and they're mixed in with early Ripple partners. So, like, like 2014 Ripple partner. So I don't know all the ins and outs of the securitized, but it's got to be 3-letter agency, government started and stuff like that. There's just some missing things there. Let me go with the article and not speculate with this. Securitize acquires what's called MG Stover. That's the name of the business, to become the world's largest digital asset fund administrator. The deal expands Securitize fund services offerings and brings its assets to $38 billion. They have over 700 crypto funds that they supervise. This is truly massive right here. I want you to see what I found interesting in some research that I've done with the securitized companies coming out of around Spain. And, you know, it's not America. I want you to see something. This securitized, it's very different. And I know I'm onto something here. We know that Ripple, their first customer was Fedor Bank in Germany. So Ripple's first customer was a German bank who was then later sold to the French government bank, because that's how it is in France. It's kind of like communist socialist. So the government owns a bank and shit. So with Ripple, their first customer was that, and think about this, David Schwartz, Evan Schwartz, his brother. They never talk about each other. And then you got Rebecca Schwartz. Those are all German names, right? And then you got Stefan Thomas, and Evan Schwartz made the Interledger protocol, gave it to the World Wide Web. So Stefan Thomas, we got German. What's up with the Germans with Ripple? But then what's up with the French? So Ripple's, the Interledger, the Ripple XRP ledger, whoever controls that, they gave that to France. So France controls that, the XRP Ledger Foundation. Now we got out of Spain, and I'm starting to wonder, is anything coming out of America? I mean, we did invent all this shit, I guess. No, yes, no, maybe so. But out of Spain, we're seeing this out of Spain. It's almost as if the world's leading countries from the old school days that still control the world, it's all come in. Look, the XRP, the people that control the actual XRP ledger, it's now France. Germany was how Ripple started with their business with Fedor Bank. Medico, that comes from Germany, but it was a Swiss company for Medico. That's the custody. See how all this is like not even America or even the rest of the world? It's like old world Europe controlling all this crypto. Are you seeing this? Hopefully you are. I'm just showing you what no other channel. Look, I investigate shit and then I watch connections. That's what I do. I watch connections. I don't deep dive coding. I don't understand coding and none of that shit. I don't want to. But what I do, Illuminous stuff. That's what Gio was saying. Illuminous stuff. This is just what I'm seeing. Somebody else mentions, Joshua Joseph talks about the French banking families. What I'm seeing is the true power brokers of the world gaining control over this new technology. You see this? The old world powers that are still in power are now snatching up areas of crypto. Now it's Spain. Spain's getting control of the securitized thing. France is controlling the ledger. Out of Germany came the custody, Germany and Switzerland. Ripple has Medico. Now it's called Ripple Custody. That came from a German company that goes back 250 years. this German company, forgot the name right now, bought a Swiss-made company called Medico. So we got the Swiss and Germans involved in Medico or Ripple custody. Very interesting. Oh, if you're watching my program and you don't donate for whatever reason, you're poor, broke, or whatever, help me in my mission. First, every top chat, write the word comment. This will help the algorithm, all these things. The next thing I want you to do, save this video to your favorites on YouTube. Next, share this video, maybe to your email, maybe click on a bunch of them and share it to your email. And then lastly, pick like 15 videos, make a playlist, and just every day hit play. If you want, I know somebody who played it for 2.5 straight days. They had like 50 videos or something or whatever they did. They click, made a playlist. That will totally help. If you're somebody who cannot afford to give any kind of donation on the channel, then just do that. Because the main mission of the channel is reach other people, help them to see the stuff that I investigate. And maybe some of my viewpoints will help people to understand, like, yeah, this shit is really, it's not what it seems. It's a global effort to control people. And that's where the crypto comes in. Unfortunately, that's the bad news. I think in the short run, we get rich. In the long run, everybody's a slave. All right. So we got this company, Securitize, and there's some mystery behind it. I already kind of gave my views. Securitize, one of the largest tokenized asset issuers, said on Tuesday it has acquired MG Stover. Let me scroll down here. It has institutional grade offerings. They do more. They do a lot of different things. Securitize has fund administration. They issue tokens. They are a brokerage like Caleb and Brown. They are a transfer agency, and they're an alternative trading system. 5 different things that they do. The deal signals growing consolidation in the digital asset infrastructure space, where companies, so they're consolidating. Have you seen, if you've been watching my program, you see how these crypto companies are now coming together, consolidating. You got Seals Q, which is a regular company, is utilizing a crypto called HBAR to quantum proof the entire world to stop a quantum attack. They've already passed. They're going to start rolling out the HBAR in their product. But HBAR is involved with Algorand as well as Ripple. See where this consolidation is happening? And what we're seeing here with this article is the same thing. BlackRock has Securitize to be the administrator of their crypto fund. And then they got 700 projects. Securitize has 700 projects they're supervising. Totally amazing. It's all coming together. It says right here, where companies are racing, they're racing to build compliant platform. That means compliant with the law. We are developing, we don't even got crypto laws. Like, we're so early, like, you're just going to have to wait. I'm sorry. Like, you're just going to have to just suck big D's and just wait until this whole shit just takes off, man. For asset managers, this means they can issue tokenized securities, administering them and trade them without leaving the ecosystem. This acquisition, this is the second to the last paragraph, cements our role as the most comprehensive platform for institutional grade real world asset tokenization. This is like, they are the top, everybody. And guess what? Ripple's their partner. I know R3's got to be in here. Let me do a quick little looky-loo. Hold on a minute. Securitize. R3. I'm not seeing it. I know they gotta be. They're hiding this. There's no way. The only thing I can think of is that R3 is partnered up. Okay, there's something called the D. Here's my reason. Okay, I tried to find out if Securitize is working with R3, and I couldn't find it right off the top. I'd have to go to I got a special website I can go to. It's not the Wayback Machine. There's a special website I go to sometimes that doesn't have the censorship, and then I can go and look for information that Google blocks. What I believe is this, and what I know from fact is this. You have something called the DTCC, Depository Trust Clearing Corporation. For the past 10 years, they've been tokenizing. Okay, I've shown that article. I can show it again. They've been working on tokenizing for 10 years. These are stocks, bonds, securities, derivatives, everything. Okay. Any stock market in the world has to go through the DTCC to clear a trade. Well, we know that the DTCC uses R3 Corda because it tells us. So we know that, and we also know that the XDC crypto, R3 utilizes that because they told us in an article. So that is the only relationship I can see. Securitize has like securities and stuff that it has tokenized. So that's where we get Securitize, is they're tokenizing securities and stuff. But any kind of a trade has to go through the DTCC, and that's a global entity. There's 20 locations. They're basically working with all the stock markets to make sure everything's registered. Every kind of a trade is registered so everybody can see. So in that respect, maybe R3 doesn't have to work directly with Securitize, but when Securitize makes a trade, they have to tell the DTCC, and the DTCC has every bank's or whatever software. So that's about as close as I can get to R3. So that would be your connection. You got Ripple involved in this, and XDC. And that is, that's your Securitize article. Now, what's interesting that I found is here's Securitize, but Ripple is invested with them. You got Mark, who's walking around the job site listening to Crypto Hulk. So if we look right here, here's the article that I'm showing you. Ripple-backed Securitize. So Ripple has been there pretty close to day one to Securitize. That's that article there. Now, the article mentioned, here is, let me show you this. The Interledger Protocol. I want you to see something. Austin Trent, Securitize is putting all kinds of shit on Solana. Interesting. Thank you very much for that. What we got here is this. The Interledger Foundation. So, brand new people, here's what's up. You got the Interledger Foundation, but you have this kind of started, this whole thing started in 2015 with Ripple. Remember, Ripple Labs in 2015 went through they had a court hearing, and it was determined that Ripple was actually a currency. So that happened in 2015. Ripple became legitimate in the 2015 Ripple settlement agreement with the United States government. This current court case with Gary Gensler, or before that with Jay Clayton in 2020, this shit's all fake, okay? We have right here, I'm showing you on Wikipedia, something called the this is kind of a little deep dive for a lot of people. I want you to understand. Let me show you what's going on before I even touch the article, and I'm only going to read like one sentence in the article. Ripple is not a company, it's a government, okay? So what the government did with they're utilizing Ripple to lay out their master plan to enslave the whole planet with crypto. Not a big deal. We'll all be slaves. Equal opportunity enslaver. So what we have going on is in 2015, here we go again. The German guy, Stefan Thomas. Oh, look, Evan Schwartz, another German guy. Just totally coincidence, right? Okay. I'm surprised Evan Schwartz wasn't there, or his sister Rebecca. What we have here is Ripple worked the interledger protocol into the internet. Yeah, this was 2015, just about the time I think Ethereum hit the scene, okay? Ripple Labs came up with the interledger protocol. The two guys that have their claim to fame is Stefan Thomas and Evan Schwartz. And they gave the World Wide Web, the internet as we know it today, the World Wide Web Consortium is the actual name. They had a meeting, and who was there? The Federal Reserve of the United States. The Federal Reserve of the United States was there. American Express was there. And the National Association of Convenience Stores. Circle K, 7-Eleven, shit like that. What a combination, huh? They had a meeting with the World Wide Web, and they needed a way they wanted to make crypto payments kind of like what they call the TCP/IP. In the internet, there's a method to get shit done to move value, and now we're getting out of my area, as you can tell. The document described a combination communication protocol to enable interoperable payments. So what Ripple did is gave the internet what it needed to make payments easy. I guess I'm going to just break it down like that. Ripple gave the internet a program to install to make payments interoperable. There you go. And Ripple did this in 2015. Ripple, I'll just say it in my words, Ripple is integrated into the internet. It's been waiting for 10 years. The internet has been waiting for 10 years to get this party started, okay? The article's right there. You can read it for yourself. Most people have no fucking clue that this is even a thing. Let me click out of that article. So basically, we already know the chosen one, they tested it out. What's kind of interesting, they tested it out. The interledger protocol was transmitted between two different ledgers, the Bitcoin ledger on Bitstamp and the XRP ledger on GateHub. That was the very first time it was ever used for the Internet of Value. Okay, that was the very first time. They tested it and it worked. And then everything went quiet. I'm telling you, they had it all figured out 10 years ago. Have I not been telling you this for 5 years? All this shit's already done. Codius, done. Digital ID shit, that came out in 2014. Okay, Ripple had all this shit figured out. Now, they've added, Stu Lavelle says, this platform is inevitable. Yes. Yeah, I said gay hub. the place that you hang out, Mike. Because you kept telling everybody you hang out at Gay Hub or the Gay Club. All right. So, Crypto She-Hulks. Not this Mike. You hang out at the Gay Club. Hey, if that's what you like doing, man, you won't find me there unless, never, ever. Let's go with this. Okay, now, the article talks about BlackRock with Securitize. So we go and look this up. This is for brand new people who hang out at the Gate Club. Gate, Gate, the Gate Club. Oh my God. Ondo Finance is going to move $95 million to BlackRock. What we got going on here is this. BlackRock is using a crypto. It's called Ondo. And it wants to tokenize real world assets. So Ondo is helping them do that. But Ondo is not good enough because it's, well, Ethereum based. Oh, shit. So Justin Stephen, thank you very much for that tax-free donation. Scoop that one up. So Ondo can't quite do it all. So Ondo joins a company called Axelar. Ta-da! Now it can get done. But guess what? Axelar is a Ripple partner. Oh, shit. So basically, Ondo is utilizing Ripple for BlackRock. That's a safe statement, yes. And I was telling you that this connection was here months before anybody else. I was telling you about Ondo before any other crypto channel. I was showing you how Ondo is Ripple or utilizing Ripple. And no other channels even talk about this at all for months. When Ondo was like 10 cents, that's what I was telling you guys about Ondo. And then eventually got up to about $1.80. So if you watch Crypto Hulk, you're early, okay? Just like I joined, I don't want to say, but I joined Caleb and Brown, and then other people joined after me, which I won't mention names, but, copycat. So here's your XRP ledger, and they're working with Axelar. So there's your evidence right there. That is the end of that deep dive article there. Let me check some comments here. And we'll go to the next articulo. Let's see. Let's go. That'll be, let me go to the next article. All right, Money Point. Now, here's another interesting one. Money Point. Let me do a copy and a paste. Right here. Oh, we got Broseph coming in hot. Broseph says, go ahead, Ripple, pay that fine in XRP. 1/100th of the total supply. Yeah, like and share the video. Let's get this information out as fast as possible. Yes, sir. Okay, let's go right here to this article. We got Africa. We got to talk about Africa. Got to. Visa. Oh, shit. The minute we mentioned Visa, we already know Crypto Hog. All right. Let me explain something here real quick there, youngins. Africa is like going to be the last frontier. If Africa ain't hooked up, nobody's rich. Okay. We're not having crypto take off and the whole continent of Africa is going to be left with nothing. That shit ain't going to happen. So we have to wait for all the little people in the villages and the huts and stuff like that, and the people out in the Kalahari. Everybody's got to have a phone or a fucking microchip in their hand or something. Everybody's got to get hooked up to the system because it's about slavery and control. Everybody's got to be, you can't have people free under the radar. Oh, no. We got to hook everybody up. They got to find a way to identify everybody and hook them up. Now, Africa has a, and I'm not getting into all the geopolitical reasons why. Africa kind of has a money issue. Basically, probably Whitey stole all the money and all the minerals and control it, and all the other people that are native to that country are kind of getting the fuck job. So that's about as political as I'm going to get. So Visa has already announced, and I believe MasterCard, but I know Visa has already announced they're going to go into Africa and hook these people up. So it's kind of like, because if you don't, like, no one's getting rich. Like, you can't let Africa just not get hooked up. It's going to be really bad. People are going to starve. There's going to be slaughterings of people. It's not going to be a good, wow, it's not good. Everybody's got to have a part in this payment system, okay? Visa knows it. Ripple knows it. That's why these companies have kind of secretly got into Africa and they're hooking them up, okay? They're hooking up the people. Now, Visa's being open about it. Visa backs a unicorn called MoneyPoint. And the goal is to hook up Africa. Like, Visa's going to put money and energy in, and they're not going to lose money. It's kind of like you got to get the whole world involved. Because one day, maybe the continent of Africa gets more control over its minerals. And then what if it starts tokenizing those minerals? So things could start shifting, okay? So Visa invested in Nigerian fintech called MoneyPoint, and Visa Direct, a move that would unlock international payment rails for remittances and cross-border. I'm going to just gloss quickly through this article. You know, Stellar is heavily involved in Africa, and you got the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Mojo Loop and stuff like that in Africa. Let's not forget. Now, this article here, when I first went through it, that's why I'm not going to read a lot through this article. When I first read through the article, I'm like, I know there's something way bigger than this. This is not, no, there's something missing here. My instinctive intuition is telling me there's something way, way more than what we're seeing right here. So I had to spend about 20 minutes researching this because I said, I know there's some shit here. Now, Visa, let me go over the obvious stuff, and then I'll show you the deep dive and what I found. So we know that Visa invested $250 million into Ripple technology. So this is what Visa is now giving to Africa, is this Ripple technology that they spent from Earthport. Visa bought a Ripple company called Earthport. So now Visa owns the technology, okay? Visa also spent $925 million on Currency Cloud. That's a Ripple technology partner. So Visa, now this is old money. So the money, it wasn't, back then it was probably worth $1.2 billion or something like that, or 1.1. Now that deal is probably worth about $1.5 billion, okay? So Visa has a sizable investment in Ripple technology, so Visa can walk into Africa and get all these people hooked up, okay? It's that easy. Now, if we look here, I'm showing you the big evidence first. That's obvious. I did some deep diving, and it was pretty tough finding information. A lot of this African stuff is not easy to find. Everybody else, it's easy to find, but African shit is so secretive and hidden. It's very hidden. and broken apart. It's not okay. So here's an article here. It's called PayPal and Venmo. So now we got PayPal, we got Venmo, and they're working with Visa. And down in the article, you see Western Union's mixed up in this. That's a Ripple partner. We already know Visa's a Ripple partner. You got PayPal, which origins start with Elon Musk and the government and probably three-letter agencies. Venmo is mixed up in this. If we look at the third paragraph, we'll see Cross River Bank and Fiserv. Those two, but let's start here with Western Union. So Western Union's a Ripple partner. I want you to see consolidation. Are you seeing consolidation here where five tech companies are now working together? Because that's what you're seeing here right now. The first article we went over talks about how fintech companies are consolidating. This is that fucking example right here. PayPal, Venmo, Visa doesn't get much bigger than that. Western Union, Cross River Bank, Fiserv, Ripple. Now we're up to 7. Okay. That's consolidation. When you get the biggest fucking companies and you put them together, this is what you get. So there's your Western Union connection with Ripple. Here is your Cross River Bank connection. This is important because Cross River Bank had somebody come over to Ripple when they first started. So I'm going to call it a Ripple partner from 2014. You know, they took that information and gave it to Cross River. Somebody came over from Cross River, just like it always happens. Rosie Rios leaves the Treasury and goes to Ripple. Michael HBAR leaves Ripple and eventually ends up number 2 at the Federal Reserve. That's how Ripple works. Here's your Fiserv connection right here. Let me do a copy and a paste. Fiserv was there from day one. This is something that nobody has on the internet except me. Here's Ripple Labs. Go to the 19-second mark. Go to the 19-second mark. What do you see there? Ripple Labs, Meet the Team. Oh, look, Apple, Pfizer, Goldman Sachs, Google, Microsoft, NASA, the Space Administration, the New York Fed, the National Security, I'm not going to say agency. These were Meet the Team, okay? This is like Ripple 2014. This is from what I call the Ripple yearbook. You can see a lot of the Ripple employees' pages, pictures here. Nobody has this on the internet except me. All right, now let's look at Money Point. Now, I wanted to do a deep dive, and I'm not going to show you this page here from way back, but you got something called Team Apt, TEAM, and then capital A, and then lowercase pt. Money Point was originally known as Team App. So I'm like, oh, now this is interesting. So a few years back, see, it started off as Team Apt. Now here's the thing. I spent a lot of time with Team Apt. There's almost nothing there. So then I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay. Team Apt has got to be some kind of secret project with some fintech companies. No one's saying nothing because there's very, very little. I can't find anything at all. Let's just put it like this. I looked up Team Apt and there's nothing there. That's how all this African shit is. You can't find nothing, okay? So there is strong government intervention going on in Africa that's very quiet. Team Apt then becomes Money Point. But when it was Team Apt, it was like the biggest payments thing in fucking Africa, right? But I can't find information on it. So that's how I know there's some then here's where I got to set off.
Although you did it, back some bullshit.
That's how I know something's up, because the bullshit meter was going off over at the Crypto Hulk House with Money Point. Then I find out Team Apt changes its name to Money Point. So that's a good way to hide all the old connections. So then I went to look it up on Google AI. And the search phrase I used, let me do a copy and a paste so you can look it up yourself. Is there a relationship between Team Apt and Stellar? So, because I know Stellar's in Africa, there appears to be a direct connection, an indirect connection between Team Apt and Stellar. So what happened is Stellar would have projects in Africa, and Stellar would donate money to certain projects. And there was some projects there where Team Apt was utilizing Stellar's money and or project, whatever they were doing. So there's no direct partnership, but there's an indirect relationship, okay? So Stellar does have something to do with Team Apt. Look, I'm going to tell you what. This is Cryptohawk's opinion. There's no way this fucking company, Team Apt, ends up being one of the biggest payment providers in Africa, and it doesn't have any connection to the people that we know. That's not possible. They've covered this up really, really good because I can't find shit on it. And there's no fucking way that's possible. That's how I know government intervention with this, because if I can't find it, then there's something's not, the bullshit meter's going off. That's how I do shit. It should not be this hard for me to do research and deep dive Team Apt. There's no fucking way that's possible unless there's some kind of government cover-up and stuff going on. Not possible. All right. Just Revenant says, thanks, Hulk. And I say, thanks for the tax-free donation. So I just sent you Money Point's Wikipedia. There ain't a whole lot there. That's what I'm talking about. Money Point, formerly known as Team APT. The only thing I really found interesting, at one point, Money Point or Team Apt was working with Fidelity, and that's the biggest payment partner in the world, a Ripple partner and all that. But I didn't see a super strong connection there. But here we have, in October 2024, Money Point, and then it says, Google Africa Investment Fund led the round. So we know that about a year ago, Google just dumped a lot of money into Money Point. So there came a point where they got Team APT going, and it started getting bigger and bigger. And then they changed the name, and then Google comes in and dumps in like $100 million or something like that. Now, we all know that Google was an early investor with Ripple, okay? Google Ventures is an early Ripple partner. And just recently in 2017, so 8 years ago, we have Google-backed payment company Ripple working with NPCI, National Payments Corporation of India. So here we obviously have a title, Google-backed Ripple. So we know that Google is helping facilitate this Money Point. Now, I know that in Africa, there's something called MFS Africa. Now, this is important. If you like a little bit of history, then, wait, Stu Lavelle gave 20 people. Let me get through this point first, and then we'll go to Stu Lavelle. I looked up AP or Money Point. I looked up Money Point, and they are a partner of MFS Africa. What is MFS Africa? They changed their name to Onafric, ONAFRIQ. They do. It seems like they do this a lot in Africa or something. I don't know. MFS Africa is a payment system, and Ripple is actually a partner of them. So now the connection starts to come in with Money Point, Team APT. Yes, Money Point is a partner of MFS Africa. The Global Forum on Remittances, Investment, and Development reports that MFS Africa now owns Onafric. So they changed their name from MFS Africa to Onafric, and Money Point is a partner of them. So that's your Ripple connection right there. Here's an article showing us what I'm saying for your evidence, so you can see it for yourself. Now, if you type in Is MoneyPoint a partner of MFS Africa? And you're on Google and you type this in, the AI will give you your answer. So I told you what I typed in, and then Google AI comes back, yes, MoneyPoint is a partner of MFS Africa, which is Onafric, which is Ripple. And how do we know? Because we have an article here from Business Wire. Ripple partners with Onafric. There you go, right there. Ripple, the leader in enterprise. This article is dated 2023, November. Ripple, the leader in enterprise blockchain payments, is working with Onafric, previously MFS Africa. There you go. So there's all your connections. So now we know that MoneyPoint is running on Ripple technology, even though they don't have Ripple partnership. Again, you don't need it, right? Because you got Visa, who bought Earthport and Currency Cloud for about $1.5 billion. Right now, we don't have a Visa Ripple official announcement of a partnership, so you don't need to. But they are. We all know Ripple and Visa are partners, and they have non-disclosure agreements and shit's all classified, quiet. But we know that Ripple's the XRP. And we're back. YouTube decided to shut us off there for a minute. When I got back on, Stu Lavelle dropped 20 memberships. Hoo-wee. Tracy R., Smitten XRP, Bill Lumberg, Marquise London, Botanical Gardens got a membership by Stu Lavelle, Kevin B., Dutch Van Saxon, and then we got Jay Doe, Justin Eagle, Royal Anchor, Timothy Barkley got a membership by Stu Lavelle. Then we got Johnny G, Sean Lowry, The World Isn't What You Think got a membership by Stu Lavelle, Michael Moody, Dylan Cause, Iggy B got a membership by Stu Lavelle, Willie Amasekin got a membership, and so did Blend Brothers and Joe Sanchez. There you go. Gaming Episode says, your channel is definitely being suppressed. I speak the truth. Yep, certainly is. For 5 years now. Otherwise, I got 430 people in the room. It should be like 4,000 at least. But we got to deal with censorship. And look, why do you think the channel gets shut off? I got people that can't leave donations. Some people can't leave comments. Some people are not notified. Oh, yeah. If you want to delete your YT phone app and reload it, that helps with some of the problems. But again, my show has too much real. They can't have my show. My show, it's kind of like you don't want to let the cat out of the bag too early. So they got to kind of put up walls around my show right now. Eventually, when the crypto takes off and stuff, they'll just ease up and forget about this fucking channel. But my channel has the evidence that other channels just don't have. The other channels don't have these connections showing you all these relationships. And so that's why some people can get away with scammy shit for 10 years. Like, I'm not going to say BitBoy was a scammer, but there's a lot of people that did say he was a scammer, millions of them. But then YouTube does nothing with those kind of channels, right? They can just flourish and grow like fucking huge. But then you get a channel like mine, and they got to turn my show off like 3-4 times an hour. So, unbelievable. Talks about it before it happens. CryptoHawk talks about it before it happens. That's true. A lot of stuff we do, especially when it comes to these little investment stuff, these little cryptos that pop up, and I say, hey, wait, it's going to get listed, months before anybody else. And that's how it was with Ondo and these different cryptos I'll talk about. And then 3-4 months later, then it hits the rest of the internet. So I think we'll wrap it up with that. I'm not going to get into another article. I just got one article left, but it's a massive article, but I got to leave it. I can't get into it now because I got to give this article at least 10 minutes. So anyhow, I'm going to have a PM show lined up. 5 o'clock PM will be our next program. I got one news article to go over, and I got to look for about 3 more. So let's see. We got Jeff. Thanks for that tax-free donation. F you, YouTube Fund. See, that's how we got to do it. I mean, you got a platform that just fights to push my channel down. And people will donate just because they hate this fucking platform. Like me, I'm on this platform. There's no other platform that's this good. So I'm kind of stuck. But because I don't know why nobody else will come up with a platform like this. It's like crazy. Because if they did, they could take half the population off this YouTube right now. If we had a censorship platform that operated just like YouTube, oh man. So that's why YouTube does the stuff they do. It's like a monopoly. And the minute they realize, oh shit, we're losing 50% of our customer base to Truth Social or whatever. I mean, Truth Social, they got to dump like 100 million or something into their platform. Get it going just like this, where I got the chat on the side and all this stuff. But other than that, there's no other channel that is like YouTube. So they kind of got everybody. All right, I'm going to head off, and I'll see y'all. I'm going to be looking today for good crypto news, and I'll be back in about how many hours? 12, 5, like 8 hours from now, something like that, 8 or 9 hours. I'll see you then.